Being a drug kingpin can bring you a lot of money. But what about the lifespan? One day you can be riding high, and the next day you can be dead or behind bars. The same is the story of Pablo Escobar, who was once one of the wealthiest drug dealers, but one day his death arrived. The king of cocaine, when he died, left behind billions of dollars. But where did all this money go? How was it spent? And did his family get anything from that money? Let's find out. How much money did Pablo Escobar amass over the years? His actual wealth is still unknown. However, according to the reports, his net worth at the time of his death was about $30 billion. It's believed that his cartel was one of the most powerful ones, and it supplied about 80% of cocaine in America. It's also said that Escobar's cartel was the one to smuggle 15 tons of cocaine into the USA every day. There was even a point in his life when he offered the government of Colombia a whopping $10 billion to pay off all of his country's debts at the time. However, he wanted a complete pardon for all his crimes in return for this money. An interesting thing that is believed to be true is that this guy burned about $2 million to keep himself warm while he was on the run. As a drug dealer, he was always running away from the authorities. And this whole thing makes sense because Escobar was a heck of a rich man. Not just that, it's also said that Escobar wrote off about $500 million as spoilage every year until his death. Authorities claim that while Escobar and his cartel were at their peak, their daily income was about $70 million. This means Pablo alone made about $420 million per week. All this money, properties, luxurious vehicles, and expensive art pieces, where did it all go? Here's what happened to Escobar's money. He lost a tremendous amount of money because of the wrong storage places. Even if the amount of money and properties that have been found is enormous, an obscene amount of his money is still to be found. The problem that authorities have been facing is that it simply can't be traced. It's believed that the drug lord had hidden his money in such weird places that he lost it because of how he stored it. Escobar's brother had unveiled that they wrote off about $2.1 billion of the earnings of their cartel. Why? Because it was either eaten up by rats or Pablo simply couldn't remember where he hid it. He also revealed that most of the lost money was buried in the walls and floors of his brother's houses. While a significant amount has most definitely been destroyed by now, the rest of it keeps popping up every now and then. One of the most recent findings of this money includes the time when Escobar's nephew claimed that he had a vision that guided him to find money hidden in one of his uncle's homes. Apparently, this guy found $18 million wrapped in a plastic bag and buried inside a wall. This one time, a farmer also stumbled upon a bag full of Escobar's loot money that he found while working on his lands. Authorities claim that the money found was worth $600 million. Most of his money and most of his properties were confiscated by the government. After the drug lord's demise, the Colombian government tried to seize almost everything Escobar had amassed over the years. And yes, they succeeded in confiscating a significant amount of money. Not just that, the government also got control over all of his expensive properties. The government traced every possible property or asset owned by the drug lord and seized it. However, the interesting thing is that even today, decades after his death, we can say that whatever they got their hands on was just a little portion of his unimaginably vast wealth. It's also said that the Colombian government forced Escobar's family to sign off all the liquid assets. And we believe they did what they were told to do. Not just the government, but two of his rival cartels also got their hands on his money. Those two rival parties included the Los Pepes and the Cali cartel. However, it's still unknown how much these groups took. These rival parties also went after Escobar's family and had them sign all the liquid assets to them. The fate of his private jets, helicopters, and luxury cars is unknown. As per the reports, this guy had purchased 15 private jets and 6 helicopters. The government of Colombia has stayed silent about where these private jets and helicopters went. However, it's believed that some of them were confiscated by the government, while the rest went into the possession of other gang members. Apart from this, he also had a massive fleet of extremely luxurious cars. Some of these cars met a tragic end as they were left to rot. The rotten bodies of these cars still lie at the Hacienda Nápoles. His home, Monaco building, is now a tourist site. Apart from cars, jets, and helicopters, Pablo had purchased several properties in and outside of Colombia. One of these properties was his home, the Monaco building, a 6-story building that was first attacked by one of his rivals, after which they had to abandon it. However, after Escobar's death, the Monaco building became a museum where Escobar enthusiasts went to see how the king of cocaine used to live his life there. And in 2018, the building was finally demolished on official orders. Since then, the place has become a memorial for all the victims that were killed at the hands of Escobar and his gangmates. Another one of his properties that met its tragic fate was the La Manuela, a home he named after his daughter Manuela Escobar. The home was located in Guatape, and Escobar and his family used this place as a vacation house. However, about 8 months before Escobar got killed, a rival cartel attacked this home. As per the reports, the rivals had stuffed this beautiful home with about 200 kilograms of explosives, which as a result destroyed a huge chunk of this house. After that, this house was also abandoned, and people would visit this place searching for abandoned loot hidden in there. This once beautiful home is now used as an arena to play paintball. Hacienda Nápoles was maybe the most expensive house Escobar made. This wasn't just a house, it was a whole sculpture park, car racing track, zoo, and a water park. This is also where all his cars were left to rot. Now, if we talk about the current situation of Hacienda Nápoles, the government has turned it into a family resort and theme park. The exotic animals that Escobar had gotten for its zoo were either sent back to the jungle or left in the resort. The original buildings have been demolished, and this whole place was rebuilt. So if you visit the Nápoles estate, you'll not find anything that Escobar himself built. Another lavish home that Escobar literally poured money into is La Casa Grande. It'd be wrong to call this place a home because it's a whole castle. Located on one of the tiny Caribbean islands, this was Escobar's largest estate ever. This castle-like place had about 300 furnished rooms. The most interesting thing about this place was that Escobar had stored his money in the form of solid gold taps and shower heads in each of its bathrooms. About the rest of the billions, everyone's still unsure where the money is. It might be buried somewhere in a jungle or stuffed in the closet of an abandoned house. What do you think happened to all that money? And was it all worth it? Tell us in the comments below. We'll be back with another amazing video soon. Till then, goodbye.